Good afternoon. It's time for a special edition of NFL Bucky's Mail Day. The show's Mike C, of course, and the star of the show, as always, the very special Bucky. Say hi, Bucky. Bucky says hi. This is our first of a series of mock drafts. We did one a couple weeks ago. That was kind of a specialty one. I love doing it. This one is Lions only mock draft. There's 5 of them. And I'm going to do a full 32 team mock draft later, maybe even tomorrow. But I wanted to get this one out today. And so it's 5 rounds of all Detroit Lions. And the cool thing about this mock draft is that, move that over just a little bit. There. Is that I picked a first round pick different for each round, or for each version, I should say. I tried to do that on purpose, and it worked out very well. I tried to take different players every time. There's a couple I had to pick a double, but not very many. And I was afforded one luxury pick just because they're mine. I can do whatever I want. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. Otherwise, it'll just take too long. I don't want to do that. Put that right there so I can see it. Okay, the first version, I selected Mike Green, defensive end out of Marshall, at pick 28. He was there a couple of times, but I tried to, like I said, pick a different player for the first overall pick, different each time. I love Mike Green as a pick. Character concerns, I'm not that worried about it. If they're not a name source, I'm not even going to worry about it at all. A huge need, a huge need for the Lions, and Mike Green would take care of that, at least a good portion of it. All right, the next round, I love this pick, this combination. Jack Sawyer was also there at defensive end. I picked both of them. What a 1-2 punch that would be. He's out of the Ohio State. That's pick number 60. The third round, I've got Emory Jones, offensive tackle out of LSU. Then I've got Dylan Fairchild, guard out of Georgia. And I ended up with a Sebastian Castro, a safety out of Iowa. I think that's a pretty good mock draft for the Lions. Next version, James Pierce Jr., defensive end out of Tennessee. Kind of see where I'm going with these. I love him the same way. He's got question concerns. Again, I'm not worried about those. I saw some versions where he was in the second round. That's never going to happen. But if they get either one of those 2 players, I'd be ecstatic. I think either one of those are game changers. Okay. Second round, I've got Jade Higgins. Jadia Higgins, I'm sorry. Wide receiver out of Iowa State. Okay. I had nothing about him. I've heard the name, but I didn't do any detail on him. Not going to worry about it. Then I got Jared Wilson, a guard out of Georgia. I had 3 J's in a row. It just happened to work that way. Next round, I've got Nathan Ransom, a safety out of the Ohio State. I like bigger schools for the most part. But that worked out pretty well. Again, those are all, positions of need. And the final one was named Garrett Dellinger, a guard out of LSU. They got 2 guards that takes care of the offensive line for the most part. Another very good mock draft for the Lions, I think, anyway. Next version, Walter Nolan, which I've seen a lot of people have ranked him higher. He's got a lot of drafts, and his name has risen in the ranks. He is a defensive tackle out of Ole Miss, and he would be a very good player for the Lions also. Either defensive end or defensive tackle, or switch it around. I don't say it doesn't matter, but that's how I would like to do it. And the next round, get a guard. So that's what I would do. Then I've got Nate Ratledge, a guard out of Georgia. So, I mean, I know what they need. That's not that, not that hard to figure out. So, another good pick. And then I got Tyler Barron, Tyler Barron, a defensive end out of Miami. So there's the three right there. Just a little bit out of order, but I like bigger schools for the most part. They generally have faced better competition. Then I selected, if I can read my own writing, I lost my spot. Pat Bryant, a wide receiver of Illinois. I've seen his name quite a few times. I think he's a little bigger, but he's skinnier. I won't swear to that. So I didn't do any, deep dive into these players, stats. You can do that on your own if you want, but these are just the players that I think would be good for the Lions. And then I got Kobe King, a linebacker out of the Penn State. Not the, but Penn State. I've heard the name. You can't go wrong with a Penn State linebacker. Okay. The fourth version, Gray Zabel, another name I've seen the Lions, tied to a lot. He's a tackle guard. He wouldn't play tackle in the NFL, mostly guard and center, which I think you'd probably end up doing. And that's what I would do with him. Out of North Dakota State. He's an interior offensive line guard center. Then I got Jack Sawyer. There's a repeat there. Defensive end of the Ohio State. That'd be a great 1-2 punch right there. I would not mind that at all. Then I got Shamar Turner, defensive lineman from Texas A&M, a name I've seen, again, going to the Lions a few times. But very good. Texas A&M had a very good team. The next is Billy Bowman, a safety out of Oklahoma. Lions will draft. I'm fairly sure that they will draft a safety. When Malachi Starks was available almost every draft, I did not take him. Then they got Chase Lunt, offensive tackle of University of Connecticut. Guard, tackle, they'll need one or both of those guys. I don't know if they'll draft both of them. They might, maybe later on, but we'll see. There's still free agents. There's still, players being cut, so wouldn't worry about it. But the draft is coming very quickly. And got to finish that magazine. I'm working on it. The last five, I've got Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. So I've got, 2 defensive tackles, 2 defensive ends. So I worked out, pretty well, I thought. Again, would not mind Kenneth Grant at all. Then I've got Joseph Stewart, defensive end out of Michigan. So I got Michigan back to back. I've seen his name just because of the Michigan connection. That would be okay too. Then I've got Dylan Fairchild. I can't see what that is. Interior offensive lineman, I see. Dylan Fairchild, I see, okay. Interior offensive lineman out of Georgia. I like Georgia players. They won, the championship a couple years, so I mean, it's hard to go against them. And then I got Nathan Ransom, a safety out of the Ohio State. You gotta like that. And then the last pick, this is my luxury pick that I mentioned earlier. Jack Neaton, offensive tackle out of Wisconsin. I had to pick a Wisconsin guy. He's done a lot in this year's draft, but I had to pick one, so that was my luxury pick. So those are 5 different scenarios of Lions players, different number 1 pick in each one. Only a couple of duplicates, and I think they're all, if not realistic, I think they're all well thought out, and they would cover their needs, and I think they're all very, very realistic. So let's see, if you want to comment on them, that's fine. If you don't, you probably won't, but that's okay. But I wanted to get that out there and try to do a complete mock tomorrow. We'll see. I can't promise that. Maybe Thursday, maybe Wednesday, somewhere. We're going to get one this week, I'll put it that way. So for Mike Cedar Star Show, the Mel Kiper of draft, it's Bucky. Say bye, Bucky. Bucky says bye. So take care and do your mocks and post them, and we'll catch you down the road. All right, bye now.